What is up, guys? It is Higgins in Japan, here with another edition of the Friday video, the video where I ramble while I drive home and record it all for your viewing pleasure. Just got finished with softball practice, and yeah, so I'm headed home, gonna make some dinner, gonna relax. It's the weekend. I can finally, get some sleep and not have to worry about getting up at 6:30 in the morning, which, might not be early for you, but whatever. But yeah, so it is Friday, and to start things off, I wanted to give a quick shout out. I was recently interviewed for the Just Japan podcast, and so when I upload this, you can actually, it's already up on iTunes. It's been up for about a day or so. Search Just Japan podcast on iTunes. I'll even put a link in the description below, so you don't have to go to the trouble of using Google or iTunes. But anyways, yeah, so it was really great. Kevin, Busan Kevin, he does videos on YouTube as well about Japan, has a really good podcast about life in Japan. And each week he interviews different people that actually live in Japan about different aspects of life in Japan. And so if you're considering moving to Japan, or even visiting Japan, or even just want to know more about Japan on like a daily basis, like what are the day-to-day things that you're going to have to do when you're in Japan, I would highly, highly recommend subscribing to his podcast as well as his channel, because he falls in the category of people that make videos that live in Japan, and I do too. I try to make videos that are informative, and shout outs to Jenny Silver and Kat. They have a podcast as well. And again, it's along the lines of like, here's the day-to-day things that you're going to come across while living in Japan. And while I would say a lot of other YouTubers, a lot of other J-vloggers, if you will, make videos and have really popular channels about like the crazy stuff that goes on in Japan, like the stuff that happens in Tokyo and Akihabara and all that kind of stuff. We try to do things that help people. Not to say that our videos are any better or theirs are worse. I think that there's a place for both types of videos, certainly. Some people are interested in that aspect of Japan, and I try to do videos where oh my gosh, I just saw one of my students' mom on this giant 3-wheeled motorcycle. Oh my gosh, it's one of the girls that's on the softball team. Her mom just rode by. Anyways, that'll be something I have to deal with later. Anyways, yeah, so not saying that their videos are bad and ours are better or ours are worse, and then like, I think that some of those videos are pretty interesting. Not every day of my life is going to a maid cafe in Akihabara or going to an arcade. Yeah, those things exist, and yet I do make videos occasionally when I go to Tokyo about stuff that goes on, but I try to do things that will be helpful to you. So if you're coming to Japan, check out these channels that I will list all their links below, because it's definitely worth checking out if you're into that aspect of Japan. If you're not, like, there's other channels that cater to those things, and I think it's great. Like, at first I was kind of annoyed and like, oh, like these people that get millions of views on their videos and whatever. I really don't care. Like I said, I think there's room for both types of videos, and that's their style. Like, I'm a 33-year-old man from America. Like, my interests are different than Michaela's or Rachel and June's. Like, those people that make videos are different than my videos, and that's perfectly all right. But anyways, so that aside, check out the podcast. It's about going to the dentist, and it kind of sounds like, oh, going to the dentist, but it's one of those things where once you get here, if you're living here or even visiting for that matter, and something happens, it's going to be something that you have to deal with. And so hopefully those videos, those podcasts will help you out, because certainly they helped me out when I was about to move here I was watching videos from people that lived here, and while the things that were interesting about, like maid cafes and owl cafes and you run the gamut on cafes, yeah, those are interesting, but I was moving to Japan, and so I needed something that was going to help me out. Came across a channel, Super Shoe, about what to do during the rainy season. Now, I made a goofball video about what to do during the rainy season, but in all honesty, his video about what to bring to Japan during the rainy season helped me out. He was like, don't worry about bringing an umbrella because they're not going to do crap. Get yourself a poncho. So I went to Walmart, picked up a couple cheap ponchos, and it doesn't matter now because I have a car, but at the time when I first moved here, I didn't have a car. So I was just walking around Japan with an umbrella, soaking wet, literally on multiple occasions during the rainy season. And, sometimes you get caught without an umbrella, or, you get caught and you're like, I just have my umbrella, I don't have my rain suit because I didn't think I was going to need it. But yeah, having that kind of information before I came to Japan was really helpful. Now, Super Shoe doesn't make any videos really anymore. He just takes pictures of his kid on Instagram, which is great, which is fine. People got families and don't have time for YouTubes. It's okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly here is, and I'm not going to mention the name of the channel, but it's another J-vlogger type person that makes videos here in Japan, and started watching one of their videos, which I don't normally do because I'm not a big fan of their style, their content, but I just happened to watch one of the videos, and this person said, teaching English in Japan is not a career. And at that point I shut off the video because I was really, really angry. And I can understand why that can be a thing. I can understand why people can think, coming to Japan is not a career. Because in all honesty, you can get a job for a dispatch company or an eikaiwa, and the only qualification really is that you have a pulse. And no offense to any of those companies, because I'm sure that there's a million different variations and a million different things that go into all that kind of stuff. But I've definitely seen my share of people that maybe should have gone through another round of hiring before, they got finally hired. But anyways, I'm not going to go into too much detail into that. But yeah, sometimes you can find companies that will hire you because you have a diploma. And other companies, go to a little bit more work. And so that opinion of, teaching English in Japan isn't a career is kind of true. Sometimes people will come to Japan for a year because it looks good on a resume. Like I came to Japan and taught for a year. Or, they don't really know what they want to do with their life. They don't have any teaching experience and they just want to do something. They have an interest in Japan. Somebody like me who went to school to be a teacher to students of foreign languages, I get offended when people say, you're not a real teacher, or you're just whatever. I've actually had someone tell me that before, and I very calmly explained to them, well, yes, that might be the case. Some people do come to Japan and don't have any teaching experience. I was teaching in the States. I was doing private teaching. I was doing stuff at a university. I was doing things, just all over teaching. I went to school initially not to be a teacher, but, changed my major, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach English in Japan. So I get offended when people say, it's not a career. It is a career. You can make teaching English in Japan a career. And I just get a little upset when people use that excuse, or use I'm in Japan for a year, so I'm going to go do something else while I'm here, which is fine. You know what? The other thing is, sometimes people come to Japan with no interest in teaching, and it's an easy job. And honestly, it's not the most difficult job in the world. It's very rewarding if you take it seriously, and very rewarding if you invest the time into your students. And this guy has an Ed Hardy tire cover on the back of his. It's super dope on the back of his car. Anyways, I've known people that didn't have teaching experience or had very little teaching experience come to Japan and find out, oh crap, I'm really good at teaching, and also I really love teaching. My friend Victor, hope I'm not speaking out of turn, Victor, he didn't have a degree in teaching, but came to Japan, started teaching, was here for a few years, went back to the States, and he's now a teacher in the States. Like, him and I had a conversation years ago about, you know, it wasn't really his intention to be a teacher, and that's fine. Like, sometimes people are really great at something and didn't really know or didn't know that they had an interest in it. That's fine. I just get offended when people say, oh, well, teaching's not... You can't make a career out of teaching. You definitely can. And, like, that's fine. I mean, if you want to make a YouTube channel and you want to make videos of you acting a fool in Tokyo, go for it, man. Like, again, there's a place for those type of videos. I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but, I mean, what are you going to do? We're all in this together. Anyways, that's a line from Red Green. Nobody knows that. I'm going to go. I'm almost home. This video is longer than I really kind of wanted it to be. That being said, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, hit me up on Facebook.com/Higgins in Japan. Check out the podcast. It's a really good listen. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. Yeah, I hope I wasn't trying to offend anybody that comes to Japan that teaches and either doesn't like it or, you know, finds out that they're, you know, whatever. That's just tired of people saying crazy stuff on YouTube and then expecting all of us to just go, yeah, you're right, buddy. Continue making your videos of you acting a fool, because that's what people want to see, apparently. I'm gonna go. You guys have a good one. I'll catch you later. Peace.